What's up, Internet? We are here with 401 Real Game by CoolBoy, the weird Resident Evil 5 Famicom multicart. I just banged my chair, that's how excited I am. Last week we handled 1 through 5. Today we're going to take a look at 6 through 10. I am very clearly not enunciating well, thanks brain, but it's Taito Basketball. Basketball by Taito. Maybe you'll get to play as the Bubble Bobble dinosaurs. I don't know, let's see. Ooh, maybe Chakin. It's basketball. 1998 basketball. I don't think that's true, but it's good music. Okay, let's go. Tournament. I don't think we're going to be playing very long. Okay, we've got to pick a class. Or a Class A team. The Detroit Unions. I don't know. They all sound very horrible. Let's go with the Dolphins. Maybe we can claim to be false killer whales. I don't know. Okay, so we're going up against these guys. It should be noted, I don't know much about sport ball, but I'm really tall, so I played a lot of basketball in high school. Whoa! Okay, we got some cinematic gameplay and some, like, proto-QuickTime event nonsense. Okay, so that's pass. What's shoot? Okay, shoot is... Okay. I think I see what's going on. So, it's, I think it's A to shoot, B to jump, I think. I'm trying to look at my controller right now because I'm sitting in the dark. But, not entirely sure how to block. Like, there's that meter that looks like that's there to, time the shot, but I don't know if there's a way to use that to counter. I think it works one way, but not the other. Whoa. Ah, traveling. Okay. Okay. I wonder if that's just based on how close you are to the actual net. Okay. And stealing just appears to be, overloading your, overlapping your sprite with theirs. Okay. Throw, Oh! I know that wasn't me, but, bravo, guy. That was cool. Okay, so I'm not much of a sport ball guy. I think we've covered this. I'm gonna pretend I understand what charging is. Damn it, just give me a swordsmanship game. That's a sport I understand. I know there's a plenty of actual kendo games, so maybe I could play one of those. Maybe, please? Okay. Or give me like a Kunio-kun game. Those games were ridiculously fun sport games. Nice! Oh yeah. I will admit, I do quite like how this game looks. It's got definitely an exciting style to it. Do not have the magic throw there. That's the end of the first period. I think we've lost. Let's move on to the next game. With Cuba Revolution. I believe this game was originally called Guevara. And this is a game that has you basically play Ikari Warriors with a character that was Che Guevara, and if you had a second player, I want to say that was Fidel Castro, which is weird, but yeah, it's an Ikari Warriors style game. And these games are kind of fun. It's easily not my favorite Ikari Warriors style game. That would always be Shock Troopers on the Neo Geo. Quite a legendary game. In fact, I would say it's the best Neo Geo game, but it's not a bad little action game if you don't mind mindless action games. And, you know, the premise is kind of interesting enough. Okay. In! I want in! Now I've got a tank. Yeah. No, I want in. Because maximum carnage with a tank. Yeah. I gotta say, you know, this isn't too bad. I've never been the biggest fan of the Car Warrior Styles games, except, of course, the legendary Shock Troopers. Oh, and Jackal. I will defend Jackal. Jackal's awesome. But I think I need to run out of that before it explodes or something. But you know, it's not a bad little game. Oh, definitely one of those games that would benefit from a twin stick. Yeah, Guevara and Castro dead. Yes, I would like to continue, thank you. So yes, this game is affirming that I was in fact right. Just like everything else I've ever said, I am completely 100% factually accurate. In. Oh god, I can destroy this thing while I'm on it. That's very intense and horrifying. I have to say, I don't think I've ever really played this game for more than like 30 seconds, but I gotta say, this game's really bloody fun. I gotta say, I'm surprised at how good this game is. I'm just gonna bomb you to death. Yeah! Uh-oh. Oh god, there's a second boss. You're being intense, Cuba Revolution. But I can shoot at angles. Can you? You know? Thus far, I'm impressed. I might have to review this sometime. But, yeah, so far, this is not too bad. Not too bad at all. Although I wish I still had my tank crap. Chicken! Chicken, 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 chicken. Aw. I wanted to save the chicken, or possibly eat the chicken. It's hard to say with games from the 80s on the Famicom. You might have rescued the chicken to eat it, for all I know. Rescue! In. Now you're all going to blow up. Aw. Can I continue again, please? Please let me continue, game. That would make me happy. Yay! Chicken! Aw, I can't rescue the chicken. Are those guys surrendering? That was... Huh. If that's really the case, this game is a lot more deep than I give it credit for. This game's actually really damn impressive. Can I go in the water? Huh, I can. And they do surrender. Huh. I think I can summarize this game with, huh. This game is actually, like, genuinely surprisingly deep for a, you know, Famicom game with just sort of a goofy premise. Nice animation. Ooh, I can rescue the piggies. Piggy, I want to rescue you. Aw. I don't think I can continue again. Can I? Yes, I can. Okay, one more time. I wonder if I can actually, like, hide in the foxholes or not. I gotta admit, this game is surprising at, like, the depth of it, even though it is a fairly basic Ikari Warriors style game. I'll take that. I don't know what it did, but, ooh! I think I just got an extra guy. Run! I'm behind you. You can't do nothing about it. And I've got 2 rapid buttons. What are you gonna do about it? Nothing. That's what I thought, you coward. Oh god, you're coming backwards. But the adventure continues. We must save Cuba, or whatever. Pew! Oh god, I'm dying. What? I'm having a blast playing this. This is fun. In! No! Go, 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 go! Yeah! Tank powered! Now you're in for it. Whoa. This game is freaking intense. Okay, so this thing's gonna blow up, so I should jump out right about now, I think. There's a lot of strategy for, like, just leaving the tank, too. Okay, so hiding in the foxholes doesn't seem to actually afford you any cover or anything. Or if it does, it must be against, like, basic arms fire. Another one of these guys. Oh god, I can't just hide behind you this time. I mean, I can try, but it's not going to do me any good. Oh, and that's it. Okay, well, I'm surprised about this one. Let's move on to Pocket Monster. Oh god. This could be one of two things, and it's this thing. Velvet. Which I believe they mean Velt. But there's some kind of music that's only appears to be half there. Welcome to the Pokemon platformer. This is a pirate original, I believe. Look at his cute smile. This game is horrible. There is a debug mode, which I believe is just pause, and you can walk your guy around. And you'd wonder why to do that, other than just to be like a cheap bastard, but this game gets really hard later on. And for the fun of it, I think it was this Pokemon game. It was this or one on the Genesis, I can't remember either, but if you beat the game and you play this a second time, when you get to the first boss on a second loop, the entire game just soft locks. Also, that's an actual sprite from Pokemon over there. That's the Executor from the Pokemon inventory icon, or whatever you want to call it, but that's an Executor, obviously. Pikachu's much bigger than Executor, because Pikachu's very clearly bigger than a tree. A lot of these things have nothing to do with Pokemon, which is kind of normal for Pokemon pirate games for whatever reason. You know, I could have just debugged my way through, like this. But, yes, debug gaming. It's fun sometimes, because this game isn't. And maybe I'll do a full playthrough of this, or like a full debug playthrough, because I'm not gonna... Oh. Now the question is, will this kill me? Yes, it will. Okay, so we'll just fast forward to where we were, because checkpoints, what am checkpoints? Weirdly enough, paused and in debug, stuff still retains its animation and its movement, so, yeah, that's kind of odd, but, I mean, at least they give you checkpoints in some way, even if you have to scroll through all of it to get there. Okay, well, hooray. Also, yes, you can get trapped in the actual environment, because programming. We know how to program. Program's just when you mash all the buttons on your keyboard, right? Like hackers in the movies. Whoop. It's important to debug sometimes, especially when you're playing this game. Now, it might not look it, but jumping, there's like a lag, so it's awkward. Let's see if we can beat the game in a dead state, because I genuinely want to see if we can. Because I don't think it just has a boss at the end, I think you actually like have to... Yeah, so we beat the game, but we were dead. Because reasons. I don't know what the hell that thing is. Also, we got hurt by that rock, because of course we did. Also, clearly not bullet bills. The music in this level is actually pretty good, though. But yeah, there's like a delay, and the controls are also really slippery. Like, it feels like Pikachu travels a few seconds after you let go. So it's like there's no actual, like, precision to this platforming, which is awkward. Also this. Let's see if I can... Oh, I might not be able to do it. Let's see if I can just, yeah, that. Also, you don't have to debug into doing that, you just can do it if you wanted. Also, Pikachu Thunder Shock, although you only have limited numbers of batteries to do that. Also, what shot that bullet? Oh, nothing, right. They're like the, fireballs from, Bowser. Except they're presumed to have come from Bowser. He was just off-screen the entire time and shot them at ridiculous angles that could never possibly have come from him, because walls were in the way and stuff. But those bullet bills are much the same. They're just there. Don't think about it. Because Pirate Original Gaming. Now, that's the thing. pirate games aren't horrible like this. Well, they're not always. They are frequently. You're lucky if you get something that's kind of sort of playable, and I would even argue this is... Well, aside from the music doing that, I don't know if the thing, the recording device picked that up, but the music got really high-pitched there for no reason. Also, I'm in the floor. Yeah. But, let's see if we can actually beat this. Let's see if we can get to the boss anyway. Screw it, we'll carry through. Yeah, these levels are ridiculously long, and they're not the worst designed levels ever, but the platforming is just not fun because of the actual controls. And the levels should really not be this long. They feel like they're 2 levels stapled together with, from what I recall, no checkpoints. So, yeah. It's still going. There we go. And we're in that level again, because I guess it did qualify us as being dead that time. Okay, let's try something else. So that was Pocket Monsters. The thing I was afraid of. This is Tiny Toon 1, which is, I believe, just Tiny Toon Adventures, based on the cartoon I didn't watch a lot of when I was a kid. But I recognize the characters. And if I recall, this is a game where you get to pick one of 3 characters as like your partner, and you can turn into them. They have like their different skills. So we'll take Plucky Duck. And, okay, let's go. Jump. Bonk. I've seen 1 or 2, hacks of this game where all they did was change the main character. And, unfortunately the colors, definitely take a hit because we're playing on the Retron 3. It definitely looks a little bit more green and yellow than it would on a normal, NES or Famicom. But, you know... There we go, now we're Plucky, who has like a gliding ability, because he plays a little differently than Buster Bunny. And that's genuinely interesting, that your different characters afford you a different way to play. So it's appreciated that there's a little bit more replayability, just based on the partner you select. And of course this is a Konami game, so... It's hard to screw up with Konami. Oh no! But, collecting carrots, I believe they give you a life, as many collectibles back in the day did, and it's just a quality platformer. There's not a lot you can say that's really bad about it or anything. Nice rendition to the theme song and stuff. Also, fantastic voice clip. Jump. And, I've played a little bit of this game, and I remember them having some fun bosses and levels, although I might be mixing it up with a different Tiny Toons game. I've played 1 or 2. And, I find it weird that I played so many Tiny Toons games, because again, I haven't seen a lot of the show, and I never cared very much for the show, but, yeah, now we're Buster again, who, he plays a little bit less slippery than Plucky, but he doesn't have the awesome gliding ability, so it's kind of a trade-off. And, this door... Hey, Hampton. Okay. If I collect 30 things, I get an extra player. So you're saying I will clone myself if I have more carrots? Or do you mean I'll just get an extra life, or an extra man, or an extra guy, or whatever? Kind of weird that, like, there's a million different ways to just mean extra life, and everyone has their own way of calling them that. Like, I know people who call them, like, extra mans and stuff. It's fascinating how you can take such a common concept and a common term, and, like, depending on who you ask, the term to describe it is completely different. It's just, you know, it's fascinating to look into, like, the human psychology and stuff of it. I'm dead again. Because I'm not on my platforming A game today. Let's try one more time, and, if not, we'll swap to something else. Because, we do have to keep a, limited time frame on this sort of stuff. Because I do have to cover X number of games. There are 400 to get to. And as good as this is, and some of them really are fairly good on this card, if I recall. Even though there is quite a lot of crap, as I've mentioned in the previous video, we do have to get through this stuff at some point. Whoa, I don't want your barbells, thank you. I already lift, bro. And that is exit. Oh no, it's Elmira. Crap. Ah. I tried to jump on her head and that wasn't it, huh? I'm guessing I had to avoid her for extra points or something. Anyway, we'll try this later. Maybe for a review or something. It's a good game. I'm definitely thinking of a Tiny Toons SNES game, and not this, that I've actually played a lot more of, but not bad. Let's try something else with the last one, Rolling Thunder, which is the Tengen Rolling Thunder, which I believe is unlicensed, brought to you by the year 2010, except it hasn't been. And, Rolling Thunder, it's a game where you play as a spy who has suffered a horrible neck injury and can't shoot upwards or at an angle. So, you go into doors, you find upgrades, you hide from enemies. It's a very basic game. It's a port from an old arcade game. And it's not one I'm super familiar with, but I've played this a few times. I know there were 2 or 3 other Rolling Thunder games on the Mega Drive, and I really want to play those games. I think those are Rolling Thunder 2 and 3. Jump. And I've heard those games are really good. But I've never been the biggest fan of the first Rolling Thunder. Again, it goes back to that whole classic arcade thing of it's just really damn hard. Like, you only get 2 lives, and this game controls fairly stiffly, but it's very precise as well. It's not too slippery, it's just... It feels like you could have a little bit more control in your jumps. It feels like you could just have a little bit more control and it would be perfect. But it's not a bad game by any means. But, there's a few games like Rolling Thunder on the NES. There was Codename Viper as well, which was, I believe, Capcom. I believe it was like a Capcom version of Rolling Thunder. Except it was like that cheesy knockoff, but it wasn't too bad a game. But it was one of those, like... It was one of those, like, knockoffs that you're surprised no one got sued for. And back then, there were lawsuits over some of these games. Some of them actually used, like, the actual names. Like, this is Rolling Thunder by a different company than the one who brought you Rolling Thunder, which I offhandedly want to say was Taito, but I don't think that's right. But it's like... And Tengen was, of course, very famous for doing this on the NES, and in fact I think that was kind of their bread and butter, was they ported old arcade games over to the NES unofficially. And they got in trouble with a few of them. I know they got in trouble for their version of Tetris, which I've heard is like one of the best versions of Tetris too. I think they did a Genesis version which was considered like the best rendition of console Tetris ever, and it's super ridiculously rare too. Although that might be another company, I'm not super familiar with the Mega Drive Tetris. Just the NES one. I am really bad at this game, in case that hasn't come through yet. But, this isn't exactly the definitive Rolling Thunder, but, you know, back then, this is what you had. And, you know, it's still Rolling Thunder. It's the game. It's good, but not a game I'm super familiar with, not a game I'm super fond of. I find it's a little bit too difficult. I find it a little bit too... Well, that's a good example of how I feel about it. It just throws stuff at you, just seemingly out of nowhere with no real preparation for it, and I don't care much for that. But it's arcade games, that's kind of what they were known for. Anyway, that has been this 5 games. Taito Basketball. I am bad at sport ball. I'm a swordsman by trade. I'm a game reviewer by trade, but I'm a swordsman in my spare time. Basketball, not so much, although I am very tall. Didn't enjoy that all that much, but I gotta say, it felt like a very good game. Not a game I would thank you for, words, brain, but, it's not a game I'd say I was fond of, but it seemed like a good game. Cuba Revolution, genuinely surprised how good that is. I played it for like 30 seconds before, but now that I've actually properly sat down and played it for a few minutes, surprisingly good, surprisingly deep, surprisingly detailed. It looks like a lot of passion went into that game. And of course the concept is just kind of goofy. Pocket Monster. Oh ye gods. And yet I don't think it's the worst rendition of Pocket Monster ever. I'm pretty sure the Mega Drive version is even worse. I have it on a completely different multi-cart. Tiny Toon 1, it's a Konami platformer. How can you screw that up? It was awesome. And Rolling Thunder is Rolling Thunder. But I think Tiny Toon 1 and Cuba Revolution alone make these past 5 totally worth it. Rolling Thunder feels pretty good for a console part of an arcade game, and Taito Basketball felt very good, even though it's not something I personally enjoyed, nor was it something that really appeals to me in any way, shape, or form. Really, the only dud here is Pocket Monster, and if nothing else, as a Pirate Original, it's a goofy thing to think about. So far, yeah, this multi-cart has seemed to be worth the money I paid for it. Thank you for getting those words out there in probably not a very, very well spoken manner, brain. Charisma, I have it. I'm well spoken for. It's, I speak for a living. Can you tell? Anyway, come back next week. Again, thanks, brain. Come back next week where we'll take a look at Power Blade 2, Final Fight 2, Double Dragon 3, Alien, and Ninja Gaiden 2. That's an interesting lot of games. I'm very excited for at least a few of them. Anyway, I'll see you then. Peace out, Internet.